The tax and spend policies of the federal government are known more broadly as fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is central to the management of our economy and to our nation as a whole. In today's lesson, we're going to take a closer look at fiscal policy with the help of Clint Dahl. Clint, can you please explain to our audience what fiscal policy is and how it works?
Certainly, I'd be happy to explain. Fiscal policy refers to decisions made by the government of tax and spend to implement policies for a political or an economic agenda. Fiscal policy is determined by the President and the Congress. The mechanisms used to enact fiscal policy are overseen by the Treasury Department. So, how exactly is fiscal policy applied? Let's say the government is concerned with an economic slowdown and wants to stimulate the economy. One way that they can do this is through lowering taxes. Lower taxes will leave more money in consumers' pockets, which they typically will spend on goods and services. Fiscal policy that's used to stimulate the economy is known as fiscal expansionary policy. And as opposed to lowering taxes, this is done through spending money. When the government spends money, it can increase demand. That spending ideally boosts activity among the industries and sectors of the economy targeted by the government funds. As it does, additional positive activity is generated elsewhere in the economy through what's called the multiplier effect. There's an even more obvious example of expansionary fiscal policy. That's when the government sends citizens money directly, as it did throughout the global health crisis. Taxation and spending can also be used as forms of contractionary fiscal policy. This is when the government tries to cool down an overheating economy by slowing the money flowing through it. Sometimes, contractionary fiscal policy mechanisms are implemented even when the government may not necessarily be trying to slow down the economy. Tax increases are a great example. Let's say the government wants to implement a new program, but doesn't want to go further into debt to fund the spending. In this instance, the government can increase taxes in order to fund the project. Higher taxes have the net effect of leaving citizens with less disposable income. But in this case, the taxes aren't raised for the purpose of lowering demand in the broader economy, even as that may be a result. Of course, tax increases are politically unpopular, which is an added consideration for fiscal policymakers. As you can see, the implications regarding fiscal policy can be profound. This is why there is always so much debate regarding these policies in Washington and around the rest of the country.
Thank you, Clint. Great explanation as usual.
You're welcome.
That brings us to the end of today's lesson. If you enjoyed this presentation, please remember to like this video and click that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any future episodes of Economics Made Simple.